ICT has registered tremendous growth in the country, and we're seeing different tech entrepreneurs invest in different sectors, and this time around they've taken it to the transport industry. There have been different applications like Safe Motors, Tap and Go, and now 250 Taxi. And joining me on the set is the founder and CEO of 250 Taxi, Afshon Wallace. You're welcome to the BQ.
Thank you very much for having me.
Please tell us about 250 Taxi and what drove you? Why that app in particular?
250 Taxi is a conveniency product. First of all, it's we can say that it's been inspired by another similar product called Uber. It's basically where you have an application that connects you to the closest taxi that is close to you, and the driver. Basically, the user has the application that is able to set his or her location using.
Before you go any further, the user would be like me?
Yes.
Okay.
Just normal person who has a smartphone, of course, and can be able to download this application. So the application, all it needs is your location that is set using the GPS on your smartphone device.
Yeah.
And we also equip our drivers with a similar smartphone that has a driver's application, and he can be able to report their location after every second. So if the driver is available, all he has to do is go online and wait for the clients, and the clients that are near to that driver can be able to connect to the user.
Why the app? Why develop the app?
Why the app? Because first of all, like I said, it's a conveniency product. Having lived in Rwanda for a while, I checked, I was able to look at how people connect to taxis. Yeah. Normally you have to send your Zamu to go get you a taxi. You have to call your cab guy and ask him, where are you, can you please come and pick me up? And all this, first of all, wastes a lot of time. Yeah. You never know whether your taxi guy is telling the truth
or not. Yeah.
And even if you call him, sometimes he's going to charge you to come and pick you up. He'll tell you, but since you don't have any other options, you have to pay that fee. So what we do, number one, we connect you with a taxi that is only close to you, so you don't have to pay that extra fee. Okay. You can see everything from the application. You can see the driver approaching you in real time. Like I mentioned, the driver's application reports his location every second. That means you can see an animation of the icon of the driver coming to you. Okay. And when the driver gets to you, 50 to 100 meters to where you are, the application alerts you and tells you a driver has arrived and asks you, have you boarded yet?
Wow.
Doing all that, I feel like it was something that was needed here in Rwanda. Okay. And since it's not there, then why not?
Apart from the fact that it was needed in Rwanda by many different users, most cases we are driven, or the motive is experience or background, something that we have experienced before. Exactly. Is it something that you have actually experienced yourself, and you can tell us about the experience?
I've been privileged to travel to a couple of places, of course, and I've used similar services or products like Lyft and Uber, and I was able to look at this experience, and it's something that is very, very exciting. First of all, having to do all that from your smartphone device, it's quite exciting, and you also get to save a lot of time, a lot of money, and it's basically an innovation that should be in each and every place if I'm asked. Yes.
Okay, we'll get back to the issue of saving a lot of money, because that can be very relative. Yeah. But we've talked about the Uber, and someone says the services are in many ways similar to those offered by the global cab firm Uber. Yeah. Mboniga Batoni says that some concerns have been raised among the operators against Uber. How were you able to neutralize those threats?
First of all, our business model is very different from Uber. What Uber does is they have independent drivers. That basically means that any driver that has a license and has some free time in a car can download this application, go through a minor background check, and can be able to start driving clients. Okay. And first of all these fights that Uber is getting is from the licensed registered taxis, because what they're doing is they're taking employment from these guys. These guys, this is their full-time job. And they've given these jobs to people who don't really need them, people who want to do it part-time, just to make some extra money, and that is also a big issue. They don't have regulations. They can charge all they want. For example, like in Kenya, the biggest challenge they're facing now is the fact that their pricing is very, very, very low. Okay. And the normal taxi drivers cannot be able to compete with that, because if you consider the licenses they have to pay, all the other regulations that are there, they have to go through all that, and it costs money and time. And these drivers from Uber, they don't have to go through any of that. And also you have to look at the laws of the country.
Sure.
You're not allowed, for example, places like this, you have to follow the law and use licensed drivers, of course. So we went through a vetting process, and we were able to recruit as many drivers as we could in Kigali. And that means having to work with these guys as partners. We have nobody to come and tell us, oh, you're taking employment from us. We don't have these bodies fighting against what we're doing and our business body. They're more or less our partners. Okay. Yes.
You talked about the vetting process, and INGABIRE Esperance had raised the question, what is the criteria of becoming a 250 taxi driver, and how is the vetting procedure to screen for the best drivers?
I have to say that in the beginning it was a very big challenge. Okay. Because we had these scouts, or basically people we used to send to explain to these drivers what we are about. Most of them have never heard about something like Uber.
Yeah, I know.
And it was something that was a big challenge. They think that what you're offering them, you're just trying to take from them. But fortunately, we were able to get at least 30 to start with. 30
at the beginning.
Okay. At the beginning, yeah. And couple of weeks down the line, this driver started getting 4 to 5 more requests a day. And I remember at some point we used to have lines of drivers now in our offices saying they want to register for this mapping service. And that is what, basically our system, that's how it started. We got these drivers, of course, their license, we checked their information. And recently we were able to partner with Rura. That means that all our background checks are being done now at Rura. You come here, you can come if you're interested, you give us information. Then from there we go to Rura and we have to check whether you're licensed or delicensed. Then from there we have to put you through, we have 2 services. We have the Dela 250 taxi service.
Okay.
Dela 250 taxi is basically where we just, if a user calls us and they say, I'm here, I need a cab urgently. Then you have all these cabs all over the city. We just send you to pick up the client and drop the client. Okay. So you have to go through that system first so we can see how disciplined you are and how your customer care is and all those issues, because you cannot compromise on things like customer care. And then from there, that's when now I can say promote you, because after that now, this is where we have to give you this phone. They don't pay anything. We give them everything that they need. We give them a smartphone with unlimited internet and airtime to call these clients. And then they start operating.
That's intense.
Yes.
And I was also about to ask more or less the same issue, especially about training the drivers, because some of them may not even be familiar with the smartphones. What is that cost implication, especially from the side of 250?
That has been our biggest challenge, actually. Yeah. But the most important thing is that we were able to do research, and we were able to see that it will, before we started, it will take, these guys will need these phones, they will need internet, they will need airtime to call clients in case they get a request. We were able to estimate how long it will take one driver to learn A, B, C, D, because number one, for some of them, you have to teach them first of all how to use this smartphone. Yeah, and then teach them how to use the application.
Itself, yeah.
Exactly. So that it's quite costly. It's very, very expensive. And then the saddest part is having to train this driver, and then a few weeks down the line you have to let him go, because we've had such cases where you have to do that because the driver, maybe he has a couple of cases like bad customer care, discipline, having to lie to clients, having to lie to. So that is something that is hurting us, but it's inevitable. Who
does the customer pay?
Or who does the customer pay?
Yes, do they pay the driver?
They pay the driver. Yes. At the moment, we started with cash, but very soon we're introducing mobile money, and because those are the ones that are mostly used here in Rwanda. But of course, as times change, we are planning to go cashless.
And how are you able to get your cut off?
We're able to get our cut off because we can be able to tell where the journey started and where the journey ended.
Yeah, okay.
So it's very, very hard for the driver to come and lie to us that I went for 2 or 3 kilometers, and we can see exactly where the client started their journey and where the client ended their journey.
You know, anything about money is very, very tricky. And if I have to first put it in my pocket and then afterwards bring you your 10K or your 500, it becomes very tricky. How are you able to follow that up at the end of the day?
Actually, I remember we had to drop a couple of drivers because of such issues.
Yeah.
Because we tell them, number one is integrity. You have to be very, very 100% honest, because we're here, we're trying to build each other, we're helping each other. It doesn't make sense if you're trying to cheat us out of a small percentage that we're getting from you and you're getting the bigger piece of the cake. It doesn't make any sense. And lucky for us, we were able to work with some of the best guys here, and they understand and value such privileges, because it's not easy for someone to just be on that platform and be able to make that extra money from that platform.
Very good. Now I head back to the questions. UWILINGIYIMANA ATHANASE says, how does the app translate into improved efficiency and service delivery in the transport sector? Okay,
like I mentioned before, this is a convenience product. I really like when people understand that. The goal of this application is to connect you to the closest driver to you. And also we looked at some challenges that let me just say tourists or new people in the country normally face. You've just checked into the country, you have no idea how much the driver is supposed to charge you, and you end up being overcharged.
Yep.
And one of our biggest markets, we partner with a lot of hotels for our service, because now you don't really need to negotiate with the driver. You don't need to be concerned that the driver is going to overcharge me. You don't need to be concerned that the driver is going to charge me from the place he left when he was coming to pick me up. Everything starts when you get into the cab. So it's a convenience product. It's also for those people who don't like bargaining. Yeah. You don't really need to bargain.
I hate it as well.
Everybody hates that.
Yeah.
Because most of the time.
Though at times I like it, depending where I am.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's for the moment we're just marketing it as a convenience product, and we've noticed that people really appreciate such a service.
Still about efficiency and improved quality service delivery. Agatha Akayesu says, does 250 Taxi Rwanda do field visits and site managing as a tool to ensure quality service delivery?
Definitely, we do that. We have a lot of beta testers. Most our drivers don't know them, but we have over 50 beta testers. These are people that are on the let me just say corporate account, that their work is just to ensure that the service is
impeccable.
Exactly what it's supposed to be, because we don't want to be. I know every time I see a tweet from a client, I get worried, and lucky for us, so I'm thankful that so far we've gotten good reviews.
Okay.
And like I said, and I mentioned this to my partners and the people I work with. I cannot compromise on the service. I cannot compromise on customer care. That is something that is needed in Africa. That is something that people normally complain about when they come to Africa. So it's up to us now to start setting the bar and make sure that we provide a service that people will appreciate and love and talk about when they go out there.
Welcome back. I'm glad that you're still here with me. It's still the BQ on RTV, and I'm still with Afshon Wallace, the CEO and founder of 250 Taxi, still talking about transport industry that has been incorporated with technology. And FERDINARD MANZI, any company or most companies take about 3 to 5 years to break even. and taking into consideration that this is a new product or a new business in Rwanda,
yes,
do you have a financial backup to run operational costs?
Do I have a financial backup? That is a very good question. Like I mentioned, before we started this business, it took us about 9 months,
okay.
And we thought about all kinds of scenarios. And when you're thinking about the business model, you need to think about financial security, especially because of the fact that this is a new product in a new place where people have not heard about it. So you need to go through a lot before you even think about breaking even. And all this helped us partner with the right kinds of people. You have to look for good tech partners.
Yeah.
You have to look for good financial partners, and you need to partner with good business developers, so that you can have a balance whereby if something is not working out, you're secured in all kinds of places. But I can say yes.
So we have an assurance, the users have an assurance
that it will not stop.
That you're not going to stop. Maybe
no.
2 or few years down the road, we can no longer be able.
Oh my goodness, yeah, we are not going anywhere.
Okay, you're here to stay, and we are glad to have you stay.
Yeah,
so we end with Grace Rubingwa. How has the startup done, especially in price reductions, and how low can it go, especially if you want to stay on the right side of the regulators?
Price reductions. Price reduction is something that. I have to insist that we were not cheap.
You're not cheap?
We're not cheap. We are probably what you pay the normal cab guy is what you pay.
Okay.
250 taxi, because our prices are regulated, of course.
Yep.
And there's nothing we can do about that at the moment, unless maybe in the future we can be able to have cheaper prices.
Okay.
But we do offer promotional materials.
Okay.
So packages basically.
Yes.
Where, for example, our corporate clients, we can give them a bit of discount, but I have to insist that we are not cheaper. Unfortunately, our prices are regulated.
I was given an impression that at least there's been a reduction in your prices. For example, if I was from Kachiru heading to town, probably if I was paying 3,000 or 4,000, this time around I would pay like 2,500.
But even the current prices, are they really high?
That is relative. That's why I said when you talk about prices, that is relative. Someone might say, how can I pay 3,000 from Kachiru to town? At the end of the day...
Because our drivers normally, we have an agreed distance of the distance they can travel to come and pick you, and it's 3 kilometers.
Oh, okay.
So imagine if that guy can travel 3 kilometers to come and pick you, and he's going to charge you the same price from the point he picks you and the point he drops you. I think that's quite fair.
Quite fair. That is something that you as a user can be able to determine.
That means our goal is to make sure that anybody using our application ever gets to a point where they can't find transportation. That's why we introduced the caller to 50 taxis, because what happens is you only see the driver that are close to you, but if you can't see the driver that is close to you, we tell you, okay, there's no driver close to your location, but you can call the customer care, and we can be able to link you with the next available driver. It takes a couple of minutes.
Okay.
I know most people that haven't used the service and all are patient, but once they use the service, it becomes addictive. Like we have clients who call us back to back every day. It becomes basically something continuous.
Afshon, I believe this is an app that can be widely used in Kigali, since it's still operating here. Yes. But how far have you gone as far as sensitizing people about the app and probably helping a few to download it on their smartphones and something like that?
The application at the moment, even when you look at our marketing, we're using the social media a lot, but we're waiting for our iOS application to go through. And then now we can really start, because a lot of people don't really understand what 250 taxi is. Yeah. Some people think we have 250 taxis out here parked somewhere. Some people think that you have to pay 250 francs to use our taxis.
That's why I was asking sensitization campaigns that are there for them. Exactly.
But very soon you'll be able to see, we're going to have road marshals who will be able to be moving around, explaining about what exactly 250 tax is all about, what it does. And also our partners are doing a very, very good job when it comes to explaining about the application. We're making a lot of videos too, to explain and show how to download the application, how to use the application. Even when you download the application itself, the fast transparent layer explains to you basically exactly about the application.
Okay.
So we believe that as long as you're curious about 250 tax and you download the application, everything from our Play Store and Apple Store description is able to explain to you what exactly the app is all about. But very soon you'll see guys moving around explaining a bit more about the application. And Kigali is small. It's word of mouth is very, very effective. And we'll get there soon. We're just waiting for we just submitted, actually before I came here, we just submitted our iOS application. So in about a week and a half, I hope. Apple is a bit strict when it comes to such things.
Okay.
It should be out, then you can now see a lot of activity from us.
Thank you very much, Afshon, for telling us more about 250 taxi.
Thank you too.
And thanks a lot for your questions. When you look at it, technology is making our life easier and easier. Thank you so much for watching The Big Q here on RTV. I'm wishing you a wonderful day. Keep watching a lot more in our programming. I'm Imi Moleka Tete Kalema. Be well and be blessed.